Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. My name is Matt and I do like video games, and in today's video I want to talk about a specific game that I have recently beaten, and that game is Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. So let's get into the video. So first of all, Happy New Year, everybody. I, like a lot of you, have made New Year's resolutions. I've got, obviously, my real life resolutions for my health and weight loss and everything. But I've also got some New Year's resolutions just for gaming, specifically because, I don't know about you guys, I have a severe problem with ADHD. I don't even want to know the amount of money that I spent on video games this past year, let alone this generation. So I spend a stupid amount of money on video games, and I beat a shockingly low number of those video games because of crippling ADHD. I get on my Xbox at night or anything, a PlayStation, an Xbox, a PC, a Nintendo, whatever it is. I get on it, I play a game, and then my ADHD goes, you know what, let's play another game. And then I get to that game and I go, you know what, let's play another game. And I get to that game and it just keeps going forever and ever and ever, right? So one of my New Year's resolutions for gaming was to try to control my ADHD, to focus in on my backlog and focus on beating one game at a time. I started this with Immortals of Aveum. Fantastic game, by the way. Really, really fun. And then my second game was Guardians of the Galaxy. And that's what we're talking about here today. And Guardians of the Galaxy is a very weird game this generation because I think we all remember back to before this game released, right? There wasn't really a big marketing push for this game at any point in its pre-release cycle. And I remember before release, specifically, me, my buddy Ham Solo, Hard Days Mike, my buddy Bill, my buddy Vinny, like everybody in my friend group, we were watching these showcases, and every time they showed this game, the reaction from all of us was the same. This game is gonna stink. That was the reaction. Because they didn't show this game off in a good light ever. Not once. I don't remember a good trailer for this game. Especially after the whole Avengers fiasco from Square Enix. And at the time, this was Square Enix as well. Well, the game releases. It ends up getting actually pretty good reviews. Like, pretty impressive reviews, right? And then I'm like, hold on a second. Maybe I should give this a shot. Maybe I should pick this up. And that's exactly what I did. And today's video is going to be a little bit, I guess, of a review for Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm going to talk about the things that I really like from the game. I wanted to also talk about the things that I dislike from the game. And I keep in mind, I recently just played this. Like, I beat this less than a week ago. Maybe a little bit over a week ago, actually, at this point. So it's still fresh in my mind. And I played a little bit here before recording the video to see if I could conjure anything up. I can't think of any weakness for this game or anything that I played and I was like, wow, I really don't like that. I can't think of something. So I just decided, you know what, I'm going to jot down the things that I really, really like, the things that really stand out from this game, and I'm going to talk about it. So let's get started. First up on the list is writing. The writing in this game is astounding, and the characters really stand out and feel unique and different. It's really well written, from small in-game banter between the Guardians to actual intense emotional cutscenes. And as far as superhero games go, I think for me personally, this is the best balance of comedy and emotion. There's multiple times in this game where I legitimately shed a tear. I'm not afraid to say that. Where I legitimately shed a tear. And there's also multiple times in this game where I actually audibly laugh. That's very rare for a game to make me audibly laugh. This game has multiple moments that made me do that. I probably had a big dumb smile on my face for like 70% of this game. I mean, obviously the emotional cutscenes, you're not going to sit there and smile during them, but like the big action-packed sequences, the fun that we'll talk about later with the gameplay and everything. You've also got the funny things that happen in the game. All of that stuff, it's hard to not have a smile on your face when you're playing this game in that regard. Another thing about the writing in this game is that it's super interesting having a superhero game where you can choose dialogue, and it feels like your choices actually have, some sort of impact on what is going on in the game. That's really nice, and it's really unique to this game. As far as the games that I've played, as far as the superhero games that I've played, it's really unique to this game. Like, for example, I remember relatively early on in the game, there was a point where I was given the choice to use Rocket or Groot as bait for a character that, again, I'm not going to go into any spoilers, but my choices were Rocket or Groot. The first time I played it, I chose Rocket, and then I'm also playing it again on Xbox, I chose Groot. Now, whichever one you choose, it doesn't really change the outcome of that specific segment of the story, but it definitely changes how you get to the outcome of that specific segment of the story, gameplay wise, cutscene wise, and all that stuff, and dialogue wise as well. It changes how you get to that point, and that's really, really cool to see in a game like this. And stuff like that is why the writing sticks out to me so much, because it does a really good job at making you feel like you're actually a part of the game, and that the choices you make have some influence on the experience that you will have along the way. And then the second part of this that I really want to talk about, and it kind of ties in with the writing because neither one can really exist without the other, and that is voice acting, because the voice acting in this game is really, really, really good. Every single actor snapped in their role, from Drax's brutish, deadpan delivery to Mantis's energetic delivery, and everything in between. It was incredibly well acted. Characters that I started the game disliking, I ended up absolutely loving by the end of the game, and that really hinged on how believable their performances were, and they were very, very believable. Now, up next is probably the most important aspect of the game for me, because as much as I love the writing, like I talked about, and I love the voice acting, and those are very, very important parts of this game, especially this game specifically, I want to talk about gameplay. Because gameplay in video games for me is king. It doesn't matter how good your story is, it doesn't matter how cool the world is, it doesn't matter how cool the art is if your gameplay isn't capturing my attention. And the gameplay in this game is really, really good. And this is funny because I only recently just beat this game. Like I said in the intro, I bought this game at launch, but I only recently just really started digging in and beat the game. And that was a little more than a week ago at this point. Well, when I first bought the game after launch, I did play it. I booted it up. I played maybe about an hour and a half, 2 hours of the game, and it didn't really click with me at all from a gameplay standpoint, specifically. And it turns out that the reason it didn't click with me is because I was really only using about 50% of the combat system. And by that I mean I was only using Star-Lord's blasters when, in fact, there's melee combat in the game. And not just average melee combat, but actually really, really good melee combat in the game. There's really cool combos. There's also really cool team combos. Like, I can just beat the hell out of somebody, and then Drax comes flying in for a drop kick to finish him off. And honestly, I could probably say I was actually only using less than 50% of the combat in the game when I initially played this, because there's also a really cool command system that you can use with your Guardians that commands them to do power attacks or strategy moves, and you can do this all while actively in combat, and it's all done seamlessly with the press of just a few buttons. And what's funny is that it kind of reminds me of the very, very small amount of Final Fantasy VII Remake that I played a few years ago. Final Fantasy VII Remake wasn't really for me, but I have no problem saying that that specific part of the game was a really cool feature, and it's awesome to see a superhero game like this implementing that as well. And then the final thing I want to talk about in this video is the Marvel factor. And this is really, really important for me to mention in this video because a lot of people love Marvel. A lot of people love Marvel. Whether it's the games, movies, shows, or comics, tons of people love Marvel. And it's important that I say this because I really am not one of those people. And that's not to say that I don't enjoy superhero movies from Marvel or superhero content from Marvel. My second favorite superhero of all time is Spider-Man. I'm also a Blade fan. Black Panther's pretty damn awesome. But when it comes to the Guardians of the Galaxy, I really don't care. I didn't keep up with any of the movies in the 2010s. I've never seen any of the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. I haven't seen any of the Avengers movies, and yes, that includes Endgame. I haven't seen it, and I really don't have any desire to see any of those movies. Now, I say all of that to say that this is how I know that this game is good. This game is good because it took a cast of characters that I have absolutely no affinity for, no nostalgia for. I historically haven't given a shit about the Guardians of the Galaxy at all. But it took these characters, and by the end of the game, I was completely invested in every single member of the Guardians of the Galaxy. And that to me is how I know a game is good. If you can take something, someone, or in this case, a group of characters that I know I don't care about and make me care about them, well, then you've done your job as a game developer. You've absolutely crushed it. And I've had games that are kind of examples of this throughout my history in gaming, where, like a game like Skyrim, I didn't really play RPGs before Skyrim. All I really played before Skyrim, and I'm dead serious, was FPS games. FPS games and sports games. I was a very basic gamer. I played Halo, I played Call of Duty, and I played NBA 2K. That was my range as a gamer. And then Skyrim came out, and I was like, holy shit, I didn't even know a game could do this. I had no idea. And then that opened up a whole new world of gaming for me, of RPGs. And now I really, really enjoy them, and I really, really appreciate them. I look at a game like Elden Ring. I don't like Souls games. I never have liked Souls games. I knew that before Elden Ring, and I know that after Elden Ring. But guess what? Elden Ring came out, and my buddy Vinny, my one buddy alone, his hype was so great for the game that it gave me FOMO. I said, you know what? I'm going to get the game. And I got it. I beat it. I love it. That's one of my favorite games ever made. I have since tried to get into Dark Souls games. I purchased the Dark Souls trilogy. I purchased Bloodborne. I purchased Sekiro. I purchased Demon Souls. I've tried all of them. I can't get into it. But Elden Ring is so great that it made me appreciate a genre that I didn't like and still don't like. And you can kind of apply that same logic to what's gone on here with Guardians of the Galaxy. Before Guardians of the Galaxy, I didn't really care about Marvel. And after the Guardians of the Galaxy, I really don't care about Marvel. But you can bet, just like Elden Ring, if there's an Elden Ring 2, when Elden Ring DLC comes out later this year, I'll be there. And you can bet that if Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy 2 comes out, if there's a sequel to this, I'm going to be there day one. No questions asked. This game to me is a top 5 game of the generation. On that list, I've got Alan Wake 2, I've got Starfield, I've got Elden Ring, I've got Cyberpunk, and then right next to all of those games, I've got Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy now. So shout out to Eidos Montreal for making the game, but also if you have a PC and you haven't played this game yet, guess what? As I put this video up, the game is free on Epic Games right now. You can pick this game up entirely for free on Epic Games right now, so be sure to do that if you haven't played this game. Hell, even if you don't have a PC and at some point you might get a PC, go to Epic Games right now, create an account, grab this game for free, because god damn is it amazing. You owe it to yourself to give it a shot. But I want to hear from you guys. Leave it down in the comments. What are your thoughts on the game? Have you played it? How do you feel about it? Do you like it as much as I like it? Leave that down in the comments below. Leave a like if you like the video, and if you're enjoying this kind of content and you want to stay up to date with it going forward over here on the channel, the best way to do that is consider subscribing, consider ringing that notification bell, because that helps you stay up to date with everything that happens over here on the channel, and it helps promote me in the algorithm, helps push the videos out to way more people, and I always appreciate that. And with that being said, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.